445-238989 is the number. You know, we do have an interview. Who's calling in from overseas? Ndagijé. Let's actually go out to the phone lines right now. Caller, are you there?
Hello?
Yeah, is this Ndagijé?
This is Ndagijé, calling from Switzerland in Europe. How you doing, man?
Ndagijé, pronounce it for me again. Ndagijé?
Ndagijé, that's correct.
Ndagijé, how you doing, man? Good.
My bad, we done butchered the hell out of your name tonight.
So sorry.
What is what time is it over there in Switzerland?
It's in the morning, man. It's like what, 10 o'clock? 10 o'clock? Yeah, 10 o'clock in the morning.
All right, man. We appreciate you calling in on this Saturday morning to spend some time with the Remix Best Overnight Show here in Atlanta. Tell us what you got going on with your music.
Oh, well, thank you for having me, for one, over there. What's good, Atlanta, man? Well, you know, I just came out with this first single as Ndagijé, which is actually my name. It's short for, Ndagijé is short for Ndagijé Mana, which is my African name, and which means I give to God. And, you know, so I came out with this new single, and it was, I worked it with a producer here in Switzerland, and a girl called Madame Pierre that you might know over there. A girl from the States who's living now in Switzerland and who, like, you know, who I know here and who helped me to do this song. She wrote it, and she told me she felt like she wanted me to sing it. She liked my voice, and I'm really happy that she did because I really love the song.
Now, you're in Switzerland, but as you just mentioned, you do have African origins. Just tell us a little bit about your background. Where were you originally born, and how'd you get to Switzerland?
Well, in fact, I was born in Morocco, to tell you the truth, because my parents were living there at the time. But I'm originally from Congo. My parents kind of traveled around Africa when they were working, so I lived in a couple of countries down there and in my homeland in Congo. And then, you know, I got to Europe because a lot of African youth go up to Europe to try and get a better life and to try and, you know, for studies and stuff like that, especially that Congo is now part of my country is now war-ridden because of different factions trying to take control of all the minerals and stuff, you know. And so, you know, we had to move over to Europe and try to better ourselves and better our lives and trying to help the family back home. And so I ended up in Switzerland after moving in France and in Belgium, moving around a little bit, do the studies and do the work. Ended up in Switzerland because, in fact, I came to Switzerland because of studies, and then I stayed because of music. Because I kind of started producing some stuff for rappers and stuff like that. Rap was really big here in Switzerland. And then I got to work for the radio. In fact, I'm kind of a colleague of the guys for a while because I was in a radio show, had a radio show here, a hip-hop radio show for a number of years, produced a lot of stuff in radio and TV. And, you know, I was always singing. I had this funk group called A Few Good Men, 16 people on stage, you know, horn section, the whole thing, with singing classical Earth, Wind, and Fire and some of our own compositions. And, you know, but I was always doing that on the side with my work. And then I just decided to get a little more serious because with that help I had from Madafi, because she really believed in me and stuff. And, you know, now I'm trying to work it.
Now go back for a second. You talked about the migration, you know, from the Congo, you know, coming to Europe, you know, all the way from France all the way into Switzerland. You know, what is that process like? Is it something that, you know, common people can do, or is it an expensive thing for people to move and get there? I mean, what is that process like when you're trying to get to Europe?
Well, in fact, you know, there's a lot of different stories, of course, you know, individual stories, but basically a lot of the African youth, and it's kind of a sad thing too, because, you know, there's a lot of intellectual erosion from Africa because, you know, because of the situation in a number of countries where it's hard to, you know, make a life for yourself. No jobs, no government support, corrupt governments and stuff like that. So you don't have stable situations. And, you know, not a lot of companies come and invest also because, you know, you have unstable situations. So to find a job and even to have education when the government is not doing its job and providing you with quality schools and universities, well, a lot of youth try to go even to Europe. That's the first migration direction. Some of them end up in the States over in your country, but, you know, a lot of them come to Europe. Coming to the States, I guess it's going to be a little harder now that Donald is in power. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What is your perception? And I guess, you know, if you can speak for the folks out there that you know interact with, what is your perception of the United States now that we have Trump as the president?
Well, I mean, the United States, I still have the same vision of the United States because I still have friends there. I still want to come to Atlanta. I've never seen Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? So my vision is just that, it's funny to see also, that Donald Trump can be elected. That's my principal vision here from as an African person living here in Europe and kind of knowing what I know about the international situations. It's weird for me as a person to see that a guy like Donald Trump, with his views on the world, can be the leader of the most powerful country in the world. It's kind of scary because America is also like a beacon that a lot of countries follow. So it's kind of scary. It gives a tone to the whole world politics that's kind of scary, kind of tense. And it's kind of like, we're kind of holding on.
Hey, you think you scared? You should see with some of the people how we feel. We got to live with this dude.
Sure.
So
I'm sure, my friend. I'm sure, but it's a global world now. So whatever happens over there in Atlanta has repercussions over in my hometown in the Kivu. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a global world, and we all feel the burn, baby.
That is true. Now, forgive me again. Are we talking to artist? How do you pronounce your name again? I don't want to mispronounce it.
No problem, my man. So I'll give you the whole thing. The whole thing is Ndagijé Mana, and the short that I use as an artist name is Ndagijé.
Ndagijé. I can remember that.
Ndagijé.
Ndagijé. Now you done mess it all up, man. That's too many syllables. Ndagijé. I'm going to get this.
You got it.
Ndagijé. We're talking Ndagijé all the way from Switzerland. Now, you talked a little bit about the music scene you're producing for hip-hop. They like rap over there. Just tell us what it's like as an artist. I mean, do you guys have a lot of outlets for music? I mean, what is the radio scene like? Just in general, what is it like for music in Switzerland?
Well, the thing is, Switzerland is a pretty small country, so it's kind of hard as an artist to make it over here because there's not a lot of space. Fewer calls. You know what I'm saying? So you got to work it. You got to work it real hard because what your aim is try and get out of these borders if you want to create a real musical career. Of course, you can have one in Switzerland, but it'll be limited to a small number of people. So it's a pretty hard artistic scene. The thing is, though, Switzerland is a pretty rich country, so you can do a lot of concerts and stuff, and you can still make a living out of it. But it's a really how can I say this? It's a really rich scene because also of the economic facilities, a lot of people can do music and can buy equipment and stuff like that. But afterwards, the equipment ain't nothing without talent. So you gotta, of course, with one of the things that is good about migration and all these youth coming from poorer countries coming to Europe is the mixing of the races and the mixing of all these ideas and different ways of seeing things. Well, that brings out a lot of talents in a lot of people and a lot of talents that you wouldn't, way of doing things that you wouldn't think that you would think of, And so it's a pretty rich scene. The hip-hop was huge here. A lot of artists toured here, and there are a lot of festivals. So people can get to see a lot of music, and it can help them create. It can help them, give them the drive to create. But then again, it's a small country, so you need to try and get your art out. So that's why I'm really happy and really thankful that you guys are even taking my call today and, listening to my music, and I hope you love it.
Hey, Ndagijé, I got it right this time. Ndagijé, we appreciate you calling in, man. Now it's time to tell us about the single. Tell us about the single. Where can folks get it? And we're going to go ahead and play it right now.
Oh, man, thank you again. Thank you again for playing it. Well, the single, as I said, was written by Ndagijé, who's an American artist living here in Switzerland. I got to know her a long time ago, and we hit it off. In fact, she came on stage also with that funk band I was talking to you about. And, and I've been working with her on different projects, and she's a really, really great artist and really inventive person. And so she called me up, and having heard me sing in that funk group, she was like, "Yo, you gotta work this thing a little more and get some. I'd like you to try and sing this song and get your solo career on." And I was like, "Wow, thanks very much." And I listened to her sing it to me a cappella, and I was like, "Okay, this this is like, it's kind of like also telling of the story of my life. It could be the story of a lot of people's life, striving, trying to better yourself, trying to, getting into the struggle and not letting go. And so I was really happy that she asked me to sing it. So we thought, she told me she had contacted a producer over here who's pretty well known. His name is Yvon Peacemaker. He was like a producer for hip-hop artists here in Switzerland, one of the greatest hip-hop artists in Switzerland, one of the most, who sells the most. Also some people in France that he produced for, some big artists in France. And so he made the music. I got into the studio, and I got busy. And, and that's what you're going to listen to right now. It's called It Is Time. And I think, what we were saying about Donald Trump and stuff like that, with Donald Trump in power and the political climate of the world, I think it is time, baby. It is time to come together as a global people, as people who have a way of thinking the world, and who do not want the world to go into the hands of 1%, who have all the money and who want to work together and spread love and not animosity. Well, it is time, baby.
Hey, well, I agree with you on that, and that is one of the benefits of having someone like him in power. It will galvanize the opposite, and hopefully that comes out with a positive result. Well, Ndagijé, we appreciate you calling in, man, and for the folks out there who want to connect with Ndagijé, you can go out to our Twitter or Instagram account, or Facebook for that matter, and we have links to his social media profiles, so you can go and follow him and get more information about him through our profiles. Just go to ATL Remix on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and then you can connect with Ndagijé that way. Let's go ahead and play the song right now. And Ndagijé, we appreciate you calling in, man.
My man, can I just say one last thing, though?
Sure, what you got?
I just want to say, because like the message I was just saying is also, I would like to specifically tell all my African brothers that it is time to build up our nation, our countries, our continent. It is time for Wakanda not to be a fucking
whoa, easy. Hey.
Republic rate, no cursing.
Yeah, we FM.
Oh, sorry, brother. I just mean to say that let's make Wakanda a real country. You know what I'm saying? Let's it is time for Africa, because of all this migration I was talking about. Well, it is time for us to get some real political leaders who want to build up Africa, so that we can build also bridges to other countries. That's what I wanted to say, my man.
Hey, that's a good message, man. Appreciate that. Hey, well, let's go ahead and play the music right now. We appreciate you calling in, man.
Thank you very much for taking my call, man. I'll get to Atlanta physically one of these days.
Hey, when you do, you got to come see the remix.
With pleasure, my friend.
All right, man. Have a good morning over in Switzerland right now. Let's go ahead and play the music in Ndagijé right here on your station at 89.3 FM.
You are listening to The Remix with Gerald Oliveri, Big D, Brittany, Tierra, and DJ Yogi.
Ten fingers, 10 toes. I must stay on my course. I must keep my soul. I must keep my soul. I've heard it before. They won't open the door, so I'll make my own. I will make my own. It is time. I gotta go and walk the line. I gotta keep my steps in line. There's never one train to ride. I gotta make it to the finish line. I gotta go and walk the line. I gotta keep my steps in line. There's never one train to ride. I gotta make it to the finish line. The news will not show happiness and joy. See, there's money in war. There's money in war. They say there's no hope, so I plan it in my heart, and I made it my own.